The 805 Focus is brought to you in part by Nonprofit Connect. Nonprofit Connect provides superior leadership tools and resources so nonprofit leaders and board members can make valuable decisions to move their organization forward to a sustainable and vibrant future. More information on services online at nonprofitconnect.org.
Welcome to 805 Focus. I'm Dr. Cinder Sinclair with Nonprofit Connect, and we will be bringing you the latest on your favorite nonprofits. So get ready to be inspired. Our special guest today is John Daly, and John is the founder and president of the Key Class. Welcome, John.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Well, I'm happy to be here.
Yes, and I have been over the years so impressed with what you have done, what you are doing with the Key Class, and I can hardly wait for all of our viewers to hear your fabulous story.
Well, it's a fun story.
It is.
Yeah, it is a fun story.
And I love every time I hear more about what you're doing. I'm just thrilled. So please tell us what is going on with the Key Class that you think people want to know.
Well, I retired from the special events industry, in which I spent 44 years doing large events worldwide. And so I had to learn a lot of protocol and manners and etiquette of all the different countries that I went to. And so I've always been really interested in etiquette and protocol, not only in the United States, but all over the world. And I've studied it since I was 19 years old. And I am a mentor, and I mentor 9 boys. And I think you know that I'm married and have 5 children of my own and 5 great-grandchildren.
Oh, gosh.
And we just got a great-grandbaby.
Oh, golly.
And so that's the best.
That is so exciting.
Yes, it was a wonderful Thanksgiving. But anyway, I mentored 9 boys, and I became what is known as a CASA, which is a court-appointed special advocate. And I was paired up with this young man 3 months after I retired.
Oh.
And we met each other, and you meet for 1 hour at their home, wherever they're living. You meet for 1 hour 3 times to decide if you're going to gel, and you're going to, you're going to choose each other.
Yeah.
And so at the second meeting, I found out that the third meeting that I was going to have with him was taking place on his 15th birthday.
Oh.
So now Will is his name. He's now, I'm still very much in touch with him, and he's 26 years old now. I can't believe it. But we went to dinner together, and he was very happy about that. He hadn't gone out a lot. He lived in group homes, but grew up in Santa Barbara area, and Santa Barbara and Oxnard and so on and so forth. And he's 15. Okay, I keep saying that over and over because there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
And we went to the soup plantation.
Oh, yeah.
And he ordered a bowl of chili, got a bowl of chili and brought it to the table. And he proceeded to eat that bowl of chili with his hands.
Oh, my gosh.
He was just dipping into the chili and taking it up. And every time he would take a bite, he'd grab a napkin, a paper napkin out of the napkin holder and wipe his hands. And he was not pulling my chain.
Oh, gosh.
This was for real, how he was eating. And I said, Will, I think that I could help you with something that is going to help you for the rest of your life. And he said, okay. He said, what is it? And I said, well, why don't you go to the restroom and wash up, clean up, and I will clean up the table, and we'll talk about it when you come back. He came back to the table, and I had a clean bowl of chili and a napkin and a spoon. And I explained, the first thing you do is you put the napkin in your lap. And he said, really? Why would you put a napkin in your lap? And I said, well, because you don't want to get food on your clothing, for one thing. And another thing, people don't want to see your dirty napkin once you've wiped your mouth with it. So you keep it in your lap the whole time that you're eating. And he said, oh, okay. So he put the napkin in his lap, and I told him how to hold the spoon. He didn't know how to hold the spoon. Held it like this, and I showed him the proper way to hold it. And to dip it into the chili and eat the bowl of chili with the spoon. And I thought, this guy's gonna love me or he's gonna hate me at the end of this. And it turned out, as we left the restaurant, he was a skinny little guy, reached up and put his arm around my shoulder and said, thank you. No one has ever taken the time to show me how to do that.
Oh my gosh.
15 years old.
Holy
in
cow.
Santa Barbara. So I got a huge lump in my throat.
Yeah.
And I dropped him off at home, and I drove back from Oxnard, and on that wide open spaces there, I just thought, you know, I am a fool. I've been living in a fool's world, thinking that everybody just automatically has these manners and etiquette and so on and so forth, and they don't. And I decided I'm going to devote the rest of my life now to helping kids, mostly at-risk kids. I started with all at-risk kids, and it went from at-risk kids. They found out that I was working with the Council on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse with their teen court. And the high schools found out, and the next thing I know, I was in the high schools. And then I got into the junior high schools. And now I'm with 11 elementary schools as well. So anywhere from 8th grade all the way up through college level, because I teach at Hancock College, in Santa Maria, and Oxnard City College. So that's what I've been doing in my retirement for the past 11 years now. I can't believe it's 11 years have gone by.
Oh my gosh.
So
Now, how do people find out about you?
Well, we're on the web. We have a website, www.thekeyclass.com. And they find out about it through that, and a lot of kids talking about
sure.
it. I've reached 8,000 kids before the pandemic. So since the pandemic, I've reached probably another 500. It's beginning to pick up again with schools opening again. I'm back in the schools, and I'm so happy to be back in the schools. I did a lot of Zoom classes, but I really prefer to do,
of course,
the in-person classes.
That is great.
Yeah.
And so, speaking of your website, you are a 501c3.
Yes.
Donors can contribute financially.
Absolutely.
Tax deductible.
It is all tax deductible, and that's how we make it. That's how we survive, is through donations. Everything is donations.
Okay, so they can go on the website. You probably have a Donate Now button.
I do have a Donate Now button, and they can go on, and what it goes to the Santa Barbara Foundation. And I'm under the umbrella of the Santa Barbara Foundation.
That's great.
So, which is wonderful. The Santa Barbara Foundation, and I have a long history. It's terrific.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That is great. So, and they can find out more about the organization, how to join, how to
absolutely
maybe refer somebody, that sort of thing.
Absolutely. Refer people to take classes. I did some classes for a while, Cinder, that were in a classroom at one of the churches here in town. And it was funny, I wasn't able to gather enough interest of people to come. People, every time I talk about it, say, oh, I definitely want to do this, or I want to send my child to this, or whatever. But when I opened it up, people were not signing up for classes. I don't know why, but
That's interesting.
yeah, because it's wonderful. I walk down the street and I have people come up to me and say, Mr. Daly, I got that job that I was after, and I got it all because of you, and thank you so much. It was wonderful. It's the sweetest thing. This has been, without a doubt, the most humbling and wonderful thing that I have ever done in my life. It really is a perfect capper.
And you are blessing so many people and families.
And myself.
Yes, true.
Absolutely.
Gosh, this is just, all right, so you teach the manners. Tell us what else the kids learn.
I teach job readiness skills, like how to write a resume.
Okay, good.
How to interview. I do mock interviews with the kids. I talk about cover letters. I talk about finances, is how to write a check, how to use a credit card to your advantage, how to use your debit card correctly so you don't get hit with overdraft fees on it. We talk about how to have a difficult conversation.
That's really good.
That's with the young kids as well, 8th graders as well as college kids. We talk about that. Of course, the curriculum is changed up for them. But it's a lot of people don't know how to have a difficult conversation, or communication, and the importance of communication, and the importance of body language, and all things like that. That's what we teach. That's what we're all about. And I've brought in a lot of things from around the world, from different places that I've been. Like, for instance, I teach how to pass out a business card the way they do in Japan. And it's with 2 hands.
Really?
Yes, and I pass it out. I pass out my business card always with 2 hands. And people remember it because it's different.
Yeah.
They don't just take the card and put it in their pocket. They take the card and they actually look at it.
Huh. Well, that's a good little tip.
Yeah, it's a good thing to do.
And so, all right, so I know you're involved with the Santa Barbara Foundation, and I understand that they named you as the Man of the Year this year, Santa Barbara Foundation.
Yes, the 79th Person of the Year.
Oh yes, now they're calling it Person of the
Now
Year.
it's Person of the Year.
Yeah.
Right, and myself and a lady were both nominated, or not nominated, we were named. Chosen, and that was one of the most thrilling things that I've ever had happen. It really was. I couldn't believe it when they called me and told me that I got it. I just, whoop!
Yeah. Well, and so well deserved. I'm so glad that they can see the benefit of what you're doing.
Well, it's wonderful that they can. And it's wonderful that they have been as supportive as they have.
Yeah.
And the people that nominate you are all past members, past people that have been named Person of the Year. So it's there was no inside job there.
Gotcha. And so now you mentioned curriculum. So does that mean that you actually have books for the kids?
Oh,
and
yes.
all that?
Yeah, we print books for every grade level. Every different course level has their own books and workbooks, and we pass them out, and they become their property. And it has my name and address and phone number and email, so they can get in touch with me at any time that they need to or would like to afterwards. And I sometimes hear from students from a couple of years back that are going to go do an interview, and they're nervous about it, and I will meet with them, and they tell me the name of the company they're going to go to, and I do research on the company,
man.
and then hit them with a really tough interview, just so they're ready for it.
That is just really great.
Oh, it's so wonderful.
What a gift.
Yes, it is a gift. It's a gift for me.
You are a gift to us. I'll tell you that.
Thank you.
Gee. And so I know that you collaborate with different organizations as well.
I do. I'm very involved with Partners in Education and have been involved with them for 11 years. Right after I started the Key class, I became involved with them. I work a lot with them and the Santa Barbara Foundation. I sit on the board of Anti-Defamation League because I'm really all about dispelling hate of any kind.
Good for you.
Yeah, I just really don't want to know about it. Also, I'm very involved with the Turner Foundation. And you know the Turner Foundation?
That's
yeah, they're a great group. And I teach with them and so on. So,
and then, of course, with CASA and CADA, you're personally involved.
Right. So I'm an honorary board member now of CADA. I pulled off the board a few years ago. So to give me more time to be able to be teaching.
So these books that how do you get them printed?
Well, I have them all. I have a printer here in town that I send everything to, and they send it back, all the different books.
Okay.
And, it all costs money, but it happens. And we get it done. And we get everything done that needs to be done to walk into a classroom. And we're all prepared, and the teachers know us. Or know of us, one of the two, and they come in and we just take over the class for one course equals 4 classes.
Oh, okay.
And each class is anywhere between an hour and 2 hours long. So depending upon the school and how they, some are on the block system, some are not. So we judge it according to the amount of time that we have.
And so these books that you have printed is another reason why you welcome financial donations.
Absolutely. It's a big deal. It's a very big deal. And we write grants, but it would be wonderful to have a grant writer. And because that's so very important, as you know.
Yes.
So,
okay, we have a couple of minutes left, and I'd love to hear another story.
Well, there's a story about a young man that was, his name was Junior, is Junior. And Junior did not want to know about taking my class. He was a gangbanger. And he just sort of sat back and looked at me while I gave the class and made rude comments and so on and so forth. And so afterwards went up to him and I said, Junior, I'd love to have you in this class, but I need your respect. I respect you and I need you to respect me. And if you respect me, I'm going to teach you everything I can. And I don't take a paycheck for this. I'm doing it because I want to help you. But with the way you were acting, it doesn't make me want to help you. And he said, well, I don't want to be in the class. And I said, okay, I understand. That's your decision. 2 weeks later, I went to the juvenile hall.
Yeah.
And I teach at juvenile hall as well. And there was Junior.
Oh, golly.
And he had no choice but to take the class. Well, I told the story to the kids about how I started the class and told them my back history of what my life has been. And Junior came up to me and he said, "Hey man, why didn't you tell me about who you are before? I thought you were just some rich guy from Montecito that was going to come in and try and tell me how to live my life. But you lived in the ghetto at one point in your life, and you were poor, and your family was poor." And I said, "Yeah, we were. We were very poor. And we pulled ourselves out of it." And he said, "I really am interested in this." He took the class. We got him a job. And everything went well. I heard from him for a while, and then I didn't hear from him for about 2 years.
Gosh.
And I thought, I wonder what happened to Junior. And so one day I'm driving back from down south, and I get a phone call, and this voice says, "I'll bet you don't know who this is." And I said, "Well, no, as a matter of fact, I don't know who this is." And he said, "It's Junior, John." And I said, "Oh, that's wonderful, Junior. It's so good to hear your voice. How are you doing?" And he said, "Well, I called to tell you thank you,
Oh, gosh.
because you saved my life."
Oh.
He said, "I've joined the Navy,
Oh.
and I'm going to ship out to learn to be a SEAL, and I wanted to get in touch with you before I shipped out."
Oh, gosh.
What more could you
Yeah.
possibly want? There isn't a paycheck in the world that's
No.
worth it.
Wow.
You know, it's just the best, the best.
You're having such an amazing impact on so many lives. And I really appreciate you being on our show to tell everybody about it.
I'm so glad that you had me.
Yeah.
I'm really pleased. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for joining us on 805 Focus, and we'll see you next time.